Coming up on Good Morning Longhorns, updates on Charlie Kirk's assassination and an inside look at what UT students have to say.
UT Marketplace is back. More on what businesses and organizations attended and the promotions.
The Longhorns are dominating in football and volleyball this season. We're covering all things Texas sports.
Raising over $1.5 million, we're live with a student organization dedicated to crushing medical debt.
And finally, Team Conrad or Team Jeremiah? We're deep diving into the hit show, The Summer I Turned Pretty. All this and more coming up right here, right now on Good Morning Longhorns. Good morning, Longhorns. For this Wednesday, September 24th, I'm Shreya Vaidhyanathan.
And I'm Gabby Comer. Thanks for joining us this morning. So, how are you doing this week, Shreya?
I'm pretty good. I got to go paddleboarding or do paddleboarding yoga on Sunday.
Ooh.
It was really fun, yeah.
That's so fun. I also went paddleboarding this weekend with my family.
Wait, fire?
Yeah. Okay, I'm so excited about the show this week. We should
I know.
get into it.
We should get right into it. So, nearly 2 weeks have passed since conservative activist Charlie Kirk was shot and killed while speaking to a Utah college campus. Kirk's funeral was held yesterday, and while some in attendance used it as a moment to call for unity, others, like President Donald Trump, used the service as a platform to chastise political opponents. TSTV News' Joseph Sweeney brings us more on how the UT community is responding to Kirk's death and what the event says about political violence in the United States.
His words are alive. What he did is alive. Charlie's legacy will continue.
Shock looms across the country and here on campus following the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
As a gun violence prevention activist, I knew the impact that this would have.
And in the wake of the conservative activist's death, campus gun control advocates call for unity over division.
There were people that agreed with him and people that didn't. And it really just comes down to, I think we should all be channeling this into outrage and trying to end gun violence.
UT students demand action say Kirk's shooting should be a sign to end campus carry. Spokesperson Isabella Carrascal says open carry laws in Utah only made it easier for the shooter to blend in with the crowd. She believes the shooting could have been prevented with stricter gun laws in place.
It does make people very unsure of going to class and going to their club meetings, and it's very possible for somebody with ill intentions to go and harm somebody with a firearm.
Taking a look at political violence nationally shows Kirk's death isn't an isolated incident. President Donald Trump was subject to 2 failed assassination attempts in 2024 alone, while in 2025, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's residence was firebombed in April in what some considered an anti-Semitic attack. And in June, one Minnesota legislator was killed in her home, with one more being critically injured in a spree shooting.
Charlie kind of ingrained this message in us that America is a very good country. We ought to love America. America is worth fighting for.
This weekend, Governor Greg Abbott called upon young conservatives to carry on Kirk's legacy and not back down in the face of intimidation. TSTV News reached out to UT's Young Conservatives and Turning Point USA chapters, but they did not provide comment. Joseph Sweeney, TSTV News.
More changes on the 40 acres as another UT leader steps down. Education Dean Charles Martinez announced he will leave the role at the end of the academic year. In an email sent to College of Education students and faculty, Martinez reflected on his 6-year tenure, touting the undergraduate enrollments increased by over 40%, and the college's 82% 4-year graduation rate. The university has not announced who will be Martinez's successor.
UT Austin announced its clinic will no longer offer hormone replacement therapy next semester. Gender care services were removed from the university website shortly after the announcement. University spokesperson Mike Rosen said the treatment is outside the clinic's scope of care. Students will have access to the treatment for the remainder of the semester. The University Health Services Office promises students to help find off-campus providers for the upcoming semester.
Last Tuesday, UT Health San Antonio's Naloxone Texas program announced they are launching a new overdose prevention initiative. The program will provide free overdose prevention training and naloxone kits to public universities, private universities, and community colleges in Texas this fall. The CDC estimates that U.S. overdoses decreased by 27% last year, largely due to prevention programs like Naloxone Texas. However, overdoses remain the leading cause of death for Americans aged 18 to 14, and the CDC is continuing to emphasize the importance of combating the opioid crisis.
And on Monday, the U.S. News & World Report released their annual Best College Rankings for 2026. The University of Texas held its spots as the #1 public university in Texas, the 7th best public university nationally, and 30th in both private and public universities. 6 programs rank in the top 5 nationally. The Macomb School of Business has accounting at number 2, marketing at number 3, and finance at number 5. The Cockrell School of Engineering has petroleum engineering at number 2, civil engineering at number 5, and chemical engineering at number 5 as well, so hook 'em horns.
Hook 'em horns.
On Tuesday, UT launched the Center for Law and Democracy. Housed in the College of Liberal Arts' Department of Government, it aims to advance research, teaching and publishing in public law, and political science. The center's mission is to strengthen interdisciplinary work, promote scholarship on law and democracy, and offer courses that prepare students to lead in these areas. It will also support internships, study abroad programs, and scholarships, and house both new and ongoing research related to law, justice, and society.
UT set an all-time record in enrollment indicators for the 2025-2026 school year, reflecting the rise in student demand and performance. The university's total enrollment is 55,000 for this semester, up 2.1% from the year before. The freshman class is the largest in history, making up nearly 10,000 college students, reflecting a 7.5% increase compared to the last fall. Additionally, graduation and retention rates, degrees earned, and freshman applications also rose.
New policy from the Trump administration caused confusion for some visa holders. President Trump announced that applicants for an H-1B visa will have to pay a $100,000 fee. The visa program is open to skilled foreign workers. The announcement left many current H-1B visa holders unclear about their status. A flight at San Francisco International Airport was stuck for 3 hours as visa holders tried to find out if they could re-enter the country. The White House later clarified that current holders wouldn't be affected and that the fee is a one-time payment. The order went into effect at midnight on Sunday.
Texas Student Media and the UT Dean of Students hosted UT Marketplace last Wednesday. Students flocked to Speedway for free food and drinks. Many booths had interactive games to win free t-shirts and tote bags. The event featured local Austin brands and companies from across the country. It gave businesses a chance to showcase their products and students an opportunity to network with different brands. UT Marketplace is held once a semester and is set to return in the spring.
The Refugee and Immigrant Center for Education and Legal Services is calling for enforceable standards and accountability from detention centers. Last Tuesday, as part of the ongoing concerns raised by attorneys representing children at the Dealey Detention Center, lawsuit details and reports from other families on the facility's unsafe conditions were revealed, such as dirty water, a lack of food, medical neglect, and months-long detentions for children. These conditions continue despite violating the 1997 Flores Agreement, which the courts upheld.
Texas A&M University's president, Mark Welsh, resigned Thursday, just days after a video showing a gender identity discussion in a Texas A&M classroom went viral. Governor Greg Abbott called the video political indoctrination and called for the professor to be fired. Welsh originally did not fire the professor, but as political pressure mounted, he did eventually fire her. Despite the controversy, Welsh and his wife were met by cheering crowds of Texas A&M students and faculty as they left the university on Friday. Mozart's Coffee Roasters is wrapping up the summer season with paddleboard yoga on Lake Austin. As the classes are preparing to enter their final week of the year, TSTV News' Shreya Vaidhyanathan and Emmy Adams take a look at what makes them so unique.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Emmy Adams. And I'm Shreya Vaidhyanathan. And we're reporting this morning from Mozart's Coffee Roasters for TSTV News. That's right, we're about to try paddleboard yoga for the very first time, so we hope you guys stick around and see us in action. We just got our instructions. I'm feeling like I'm probably gonna end up in the water, and I'm a little nervous about
that. The whole idea is to foster spaces where people can show up, be silly, push themselves, and not even necessarily realize they're doing it. There's always this apprehension in the beginning, and people are scared. This is a scary experience because it's new, and new is literally new in our body feels like scary in our body. But then people aren't afraid to be silly, to be loud, to take up space, and that's like kind of the messages that I try to really communicate in here, especially is that fear and being scared and apprehension, those are all normal human emotions, and to expect ourselves not to feel them is to ask ourselves something impossible.
From the beginning, she said, you might be scared, and that's okay. She checked in throughout the class with everyone to make sure everyone still felt comfortable, or if they wanted to challenge themselves.
I loved the class personally. It was so much fun. It was really just relaxing, you know, first thing in the morning to get your body like up and moving. I could feel myself shaking like more at the beginning of class, and then by the end, like I felt myself progress and feel calmer on the water, which was really cool. I'm Emmy Adams. I'm Shreya Vaidhyanathan, and we're reporting for TSTV News.
The next paddleboard yoga class will be held this Sunday, September 28th. Tickets are $30 for 1 hour instructor-led session and paddleboard rental. Tickets can be bought online at Mozart's website.
Coming up, the Texas heat seems to be fading away. Your local forecast is next.
Determined to start your day well? We're up bright and early. From the enriching local stories to the weather forecast later in the day. Rain or shine, at Good Morning Longhorns, we got you covered. Comprised of a studious reporting staff going lengths to get that scoop, and a talented technical team to enhance your screen visually. As a fellow Longhorn, your mornings are better with us. So start your day the Vivo way. Good Morning Longhorns, Wednesdays at 7 a.m. Central Time on TSTV.
Welcome back. Before we get into our local forecast, a tropical storm known as Hurricane Gabrielle has intensified into a major hurricane. Coming off Bermuda, the storm jumped to a Category 4 hurricane on Monday, becoming the second hurricane off the Atlantic this year. A rip current is expected to hit parts of North Carolina and New England. The National Weather Center expects the currents to die down later this week.
Back in Austin, the Texas heat seems to be slowly dying down as we head into fall. To deep dive into this week's forecast, we're joined by Ella Olson in the Weather Center. Good morning, Ella.
Thanks, Shreya and Gabby, and good morning, everyone. Unfortunately, the Texas heat will continue, but it will cool off a tiny bit throughout the week after today and tomorrow's rainy weather. Today's high is 89 degrees with a low of 76 degrees, and tomorrow we will hit a high of 86 degrees and a low of 72 degrees. Friday is similar with a high of 87 and a low of 65, and moving into this weekend, the skies are clear and the UV will be hitting 8 each day. Keeping up the trend of high 80s, Saturday has a high of 87 degrees and a low of 65, and Sunday is looking the same with a high of 87 degrees and a low of 66 degrees. Since there's no game this week, it's shaping up to be a great weekend for a lake day or a great opportunity to go to Barton Springs before it starts getting a little cooler outside later in the fall. That's all from the Weather Center. I'm Ella Olson. Back to you guys.
Texas football defeated the Sam Houston State Bearcats this past Saturday 55-0. Longhorn football fans were happy to see the team pick up more momentum after a close call to UTEP. Quarterback Arch Manning passed for 309 yards and 3 touchdowns. He was 18 of 21 passing, a completion rate that has improved compared to his other games this season. Wingo had 2 touchdowns, showing improvements in his connection with Manning. Senior safety Michael Taft commented on it, saying, quote, "Arch got his swagger back." End quote. While they were both out against the Bearcats due to hamstring injuries, it looks like running backs Quintavion Wisner and CJ Baxter are on target to return for their next matchup. The Longhorns have a bye week this week, but then it's straight into SEC conference play. They travel to the Swamp to play Florida on October 4th at 2:30 p.m.
Speaking of football, former UT player Cameron Dicker became the most accurate kicker in NFL history last week. Known as Dicker the Kicker, he hit his 100th career field goal attempt during the Chargers Week 2 matchup against the Las Vegas Raiders. Dicker at that point had made 94 of 100 career attempts, giving him a 94% success rate. Dicker said, quote, "It's cool in the moment, but at the same time, I'm hoping this is the first of many kicks," end quote.
Shifting to volleyball, Texas has beaten 2 more ranked opponents to become 8-0 on the season and ranked number 2. Last Wednesday, the team swept number 9 TCU, with junior Tori Stafford having her 5th double-double of the season. Longhorns then faced number 21 Baylor last Friday, leading to another sweep. Carrie Spears led the game with a match-high 18 kills. Texas finally starts SEC play today against Vanderbilt. The game is at 8 p.m. in the Gregory Gymnasium.
If you're looking for things to do in Austin this weekend, First Light Books, a local bookstore near campus, is hosting their 2nd annual block party this Saturday. The bookstore throws the party in their parking lot to celebrate their birthday with food, music, and guest speakers. The party plans on inviting local Austin favorites like Austin Oyster Companies and Sisters Snow Shack. You can RSVP on the First Light Books website.
An update on TikTok in the U.S. Several joint venture partners, including tech giant Oracle and computer pioneer Michael Dell, are set to oversee the U.S. TikTok algorithm. The Trump administration is expected to sign an executive order that would set standards for the partners later this week. However, according to a White House official, the U.S. administration will not have any stake in the venture, nor will it be a part of the board. The partnership is in response to the Trump administration's concerns over the TikTok parent company, ByteDance, and their control over the U.S. algorithm.
Jimmy Kimmel Live is back, less than a week after being, quote, suspended indefinitely, end quote, for comments on the killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. On last Monday's show, Kimmel suggested Republicans were using the tragedy to score political points. In response to pressure from the FCC, ABC pulled him off the air. But after fans, journalists, and fellow hosts spoke out, arguing Kimmel was simply exercising his right to free speech, Disney backpedaled and put him back on the air. His first show back was last night, with Sinclair and Nexstar's 70-plus ABC affiliates still refusing to air it, even as the rest of the country tunes back in on Disney.
Taylor Swift announced an exclusive in-theater event, the official release party of A Life of a Showgirl. It'll be showing in AMC theaters from October 3rd through the 5th. Swift posted on Instagram that this will include the music video for her new single, The Fate of Ophelia, and behind the scenes of how she made it. Swift will also include what inspired the music and lyric videos for her new album, The Life of a Showgirl, her 12th studio album. Tickets are on sale now across theaters in the U.S.
Live from New York, the Lorne Michaels Connection opened to the public on September 20th at the Harry Ransom Center at UT. Michaels created the sketch comedy show Saturday Night Live in 1975 and has served as the show's executive producer since 1985. The exhibition is guest curated by Steve Wilson and highlights Michaels' influence on comedy and culture. It will be on display through March 20th. Michaels' collection includes annotated scripts, photos, cue cards, and production notes from not just SNL, but also 30 Rock, Mean Girls, Kids in the Hall, and more.
In honor of Hispanic Heritage Month, the Four Loko and Mariachi Band performed 3 times on Saturday's evening football game. The first performance was before the game on Bevo Boulevard. The other 2 were during the first and second half of the game. The performance included 3 Folklorico dance accompanied by UT's very own mariachi band. The performance showcased Hispanic dances and music. Their next appearance will be in Gregory Gym during the UT volleyball game against Missouri on Friday.
After the break, we're joined by representatives from a student org that has raised over $1.5 million to help with local medical debt. We'll be right back.
13 of the 48 club sports offered by the university now require students to submit proof of sex assigned at birth.
I know deep down they would probably want to stay with the university.
No way in hell anybody's going to tell my daughters what to do with their bodies.
This state is one of the worst in child education.
We can't take it anymore, seeing those scenes.
Going to Hillel on Friday night, all my family members kept texting me not to go.
There's a huge housing crisis in Austin. Do you have a plan in place to address this issue? Determined to start your day well? We're up bright and early. From the enriching local stories to the weather forecast later in the day. Rain or shine, at Good Morning Longhorns, we got you covered. Comprised of a studious reporting staff going lengths to get that scoop, and a talented technical team to enhance your screen visually. As a fellow Longhorn, your mornings are better with us. So start your day the Vivo way. Good Morning Longhorns, Wednesdays at 7 a.m. Central Time on TSTV.
into a UT chapter specifically, mainly for undergrads, which was mainly started by Karthik and Naima, who are now both in medical school, and that was piloted through the Impact Corps program in the LBJ School of Public Affairs. So that's how we started.
So cool. Can you walk us through the process of eliminating medical debt and actually achieving your mission?
Yeah, so the way that our org works is based on some legal policies under the Affordable Care Act. So the Affordable Care Act mandates that hospitals are required to have these policies that they call charity care, which is where they set aside money to help people who can't pay off their medical bills. But these processes are very hard to access and full of legal terms that most people can't navigate themselves. So the way we work is we have financial screeners through the $4 organization, where we help patients like put in their information about the debt that they have and see if they qualify for debt relief resources, and then eventually work with the legal team to get those bills removed.
Gotcha.
Awesome. Your team has helped erase $1.5 million of medical debt in Austin. Have you seen the impact of your work? How is from Austinites firsthand?
Yeah, so working in the community is really rewarding because we work directly with patients who are affected by medical bills, not just in like the medical sense, but through all of their financial struggles after. Like, for example, I had a patient that I met at Micah 6, a food bank here in Austin, who had been bitten by a black widow spider. It was just this massive bite on her face, and she got the bill removed, but the bill had cost her $5,000, and before she was able to get it removed, she had put it on her credit card, and that debt prevented her from being able to qualify for home loans and for like financial assistance otherwise. So the impact of these bills are on their financial like capabilities is just so tragic, and it impacts their life in so many ways, and we're able to see that firsthand. So it makes like the process of helping them find these resources really rewarding at the end of the day.
That's awesome. So cool. So LCMD was at the Capitol earlier this year, and Rashid, you testified in front of state representatives. How was that experience, and what was the outcome?
Yeah, so that experience is honestly super rewarding. So we actually, through Laura, we had a connection with Elizabeth Colvin, who actually got her law degree for JD from UT, and she has an organization called Raise Texas, and they're kind of like a nonprofit coalition helping low-income Texans handle their finances, and they were focusing on medical debt. And of course, as y'all probably know, when the Capitol is in session every other spring, so it was in session this spring 2025. So there's a lot of bills that representatives and senators they're like making that really pertain to medical debt. There are a couple that we were interested in, and we want to like lobby and talk to these different representatives in their offices and really try to get them to like sign on and get them to focus on the bill. So a couple on top of my head would be like there's this one that like as Rahi was talking about, of course, medical debt when it's on like your credit report that could screw up many other opportunities. So it was trying to like remove medical debt from like affecting your credit score, because like it doesn't make sense like if you like walk down Guad, right, and like a truck hits you and you're in the ER and then you get hit with the $100,000 like surgery bill, right? And that affects your credit score and it tanks. How does that reflect your fiscal responsibility, right? So that's kind of like what that bill was about. And the bill that we testified for specifically was House Bill 3708. So that bill would basically require hospitals to actually screen their patients for charity care before, I believe it's a 60-day deadline. So yeah, there's like
that's really cool. Okay, thank you so much both for coming. You can learn more about the work done by Rashid and Rahi and the LSMD team at letscrushmedicaldebt.org. Coming up, we're diving into the Summer I Turned Pretty finale and discussing the new movie announcement. Don't go anywhere.
13 of the 48 club sports offered by the university now require students to submit proof of sex assigned at birth.
I know deep down they would probably want to stay with the university.
No way in hell anybody's going to tell my daughters what to do with their bodies.
This state is one of the worst in child education.
We can't take it anymore seeing those scenes.
Going to Hillel on Friday night, all my family members kept texting me not to go.
There's a huge housing crisis in Austin. Do you have a plan in place to address this issue? Determined to start your day well? We're up bright and early. From the enriching...
Welcome back, y'all, and welcome to my favorite part of the show this morning, our long-awaited Summer I Turned Pretty debrief. Fair warning, there will be spoilers.
Shreya and I are joined again by Ella Olsen to share some of our highs and lows from the season, as well as our predictions for the upcoming Summer I Turned Pretty movie. Okay, before we get into it, one thing I have to mention. Why is her nickname Belly? I really don't understand. It makes me uncomfortable. I have trouble talking about the show because why am I saying why are we calling her Belly?
Wait, I think it's so cute. I'm sorry, hot take, but I think it's adorable. It's a family name. It shows that she's a kid. She's childish, bad ways and good ways, but it's sweet.
I kind of disagree. I'm with Gabby on this one. I liked how when she was in Paris, she went by Isabel. I like that a lot because I feel like Belly is kind of an awkward nickname. I feel like she could have gone by Izzy or Bella or something else. I don't know.
Maybe it's cute for a family name, but the fact that she went by it that was her full name throughout college and and finally she changed it to Isabel finally, but it's just a crazy nickname.
I'm dead. Okay, speaking of Paris, can we talk about how the 9th episode of the season is literally a 10-minute AirTag commercial? I'm sorry, what was that?
I would argue it was longer than 10 minutes,
but it was definitely the entire episode was an AirTag commercial.
Yeah.
For sure.
I feel some of the episodes this season were just drawn out.
I agree, yeah.
And there were parts of it that should have been slow that were rushed,
No, yeah. I agree.
What were y'all's thoughts on the finale? Ending?
I liked the ending. I thought that maybe her Paris storyline was a little bit rushed, but overall I liked it, yeah.
Yeah, I liked it too. Again, her Paris storyline was a bit rushed, I felt. They could have cut the AirTag commercial very short, but I get they have to somehow afford their crazy music budget.
Choices. Yeah, their music was so good this season.
Yeah, it was low-key crazy. But yeah, I don't know.
I know. And wait, so while we're here, let's run through the end of season 3 side couples really quick. Firstly, Denise and Jeremiah, I have thoughts. I don't think that everyone needs to be in a couple. I feel people can just be single, work on themselves. No?
Yeah, I did not really understand that relationship towards the end. It also felt a little bit rushed. I feel there was a lot of couples that were introduced towards the end that I feel didn't really make sense.
Yeah, I feel anyway, I just feel also I love Steven and Taylor though. I don't like Denise and Jeremiah, but I love Steven and Taylor. So anyway.
Yeah. So we know that we have a movie coming up, and I'm really excited. We don't know what's going to happen, but we know that we'll debrief it right here. And that's all the time we have for today. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm Shreya Vaidhyanathan.
And I'm Gabby Comer. From our Good Morning Longhorns team, we'll see you back here next week. For Campus First News, you can follow us on Instagram at Good Morning Longhorns and check out our website at tstvnews.com.